I want to thank everybody for the tremendous support. I'm going to Walter Reed Hospital. I think I'm doing very well, but we're going to make sure that things work out. The First Lady is doing very well. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. I will never forget it. Thank you.
President Trump, our First Lady, and a plethora of others have tested positive for coronavirus. Man, what a year. I don't know what else could happen. Really, I don't know what else can happen. Prayers for our president, our First Lady, and everybody else too that's been infected. We really need them to pull through and do well, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to be just fine, because let's be honest, the vast majority of people do survive. Vast majority. They survive, they have mild symptoms, and they're fine. A lot of times we lose sight of that because all you hear all day. It's very difficult to not just fall victim to the fear sometimes when you just hear nonstop, oh, death count changes today, changed 2,000, 200,000, 205, 200, whatever. You know, and everybody does know somebody that has lost their life to the virus. I know a couple people myself. So it's worse than the regular flu. It is. But the vast majority of people still recover. Now, I don't know what the hell happened. I mean, some sort of typhoid Mary made their way into one of these inner circle events. I mean, apparently Hope Hicks was one of the first confirmed cases that's around the president. She's an advisor. And then it was just kind of snowballed from there, but they don't really know exactly when. But let's be honest, the president is tested every single day. So, and they just found out last night that he was positive, and the First Lady was positive. So, and now it's been like floodgates have opened up since then. You got 3 White House reporters, you got 2 GOP senators, Mike Lee and Grassley, Kellyanne Conway has tested positive, Trump's campaign manager has tested positive. Like I said, Hope Hicks has tested positive. Ronna McDaniel, the RNC chairwoman, has tested positive, and there's a bunch more too. But so far, you have light symptoms. Everybody's got mild symptoms. They seem to be doing okay. So, knock on wood, everybody's okay. Both the Bidens have so far tested negative. Thank goodness. And hopefully they continue to test negative, because, you know, you can still test negative for a couple days after you were exposed. And that's it. We'll take it from there. Like he said, they took him to Walter Reed Hospital because that, you know, they can monitor him the entire day. They can monitor him at all hours there, as opposed to in the White House. It's not really set up for all day monitoring. So it was obviously just out of extra caution. Apparently they had him on, they gave him Regeneron. It's monoclonal antibody regimen. And they got him on zinc. They got him on vitamin D. And they do have him on remdesivir too. So we'll see. We'll see. He's got mild symptoms, but he is 74. He's pretty portly. He likes his McDonald's. But did you guys notice what I just did there? I'm not a big fan of Biden, in case you didn't know. But I said, thank goodness that they're okay. Thank goodness that they're not positive. Why the hell would I say that? That they're not on my side. How could I say that? Maybe it's because normal people have not lost their integrity. They have not lost all remnants of humanity. And even if I absolutely dislike Biden and Hillary Clinton and the rest of the gang on the left and what they want to do to this country and their policies, I do not want them to be sick or die. They have families, they have people that love them and count on them. I do not want them to die. That is how you human, okay? That is how you be human. Let me just tell you something. Now, real quick, to their credit, Joe Biden, the Bidens, have wished the president well, a speedy recovery, and you've had a good amount of people on the left do it too. People that didn't even expect it from, like Rachel Maddow. Whether it's genuine or not, I'll take them at their word. Say it's genuine. I'm sure some of them it's not. Some of the more crazy ones, I'm sure it's not. And they just know. Like Nancy Pelosi, I'm sure if she thought she could win an election by saying, screw them, I'm sure she would. But do they know at 30-something days from an election, you don't say, I hope he dies? But that didn't stop some, other craziness. Joy Reid, she says that Trump's faking the COVID diagnosis. These people on the left, they're not doing humaning right. Okay, take a look at this. Ex-staffers for Obama, Hillary, Warren appear to attack Trump over COVID-19. I hope he dies, quote. Look at this pig. Look at this absolute pig this person is. Zahra Rahim, a former Obama administration official who also worked on the Clinton's presidential campaign, appeared to reference the president's diagnosis on Twitter, writing, "It's been against my moral identity to tweet this for the past 4 years, but I hope he dies." Yeah, I'm sure it has been against your moral identity. You have no morals. You are so demented and deranged, and this is what we're going to get into, guys. And then it's going to trickle into some debate analysis, too. These people are so demented and deranged. They've allowed themselves to be, their minds to be taken over so strongly that there's nothing beneath them anymore. Nothing. Rahim also retweeted someone who wrote no in response to the following tweet from MSNBC's Rachel Maddow. God bless the president and the first lady. If you pray, please pray for their speedy and complete recovery, and for everyone infected everywhere. This virus is horrific and merciless. No one would wish its wrath on anyone. We must get its spread under control. Enough. Credit where credit's due. Thank you. You're not a complete terrible person, Rachel Maddow. But Rahim added, 2 thoughts. I'm totally blown away by the almost instant conspiracy theories coming from the left. I don't get the upside of faking a positive result 33 days before the election, if he's interested in a second term. Announcing quarantine to a base who think COVID-19 is fake. Why? Let me be clear. I put absolutely nothing out of the realm of possibility with this effort. But as a strategist, maybe I'm blind to the effery. How the hell does somebody like this become a political strategist, first of all? Former Obama official Andy Slavitt, just before Trump announced that he had the virus, he must be quarantining because he doesn't want to pass the hoax on to anyone else. Perfect example. Perfect example. I still deal with this on a daily basis, actually, almost, on social media. Hop in the comment section of any left-wing figure and see. They are so deranged, like I said, they have to maintain this worldview at all costs for themselves. Okay, they can't. The very thought, rather, of them, of their prior views being wrong, of the president, of the right, of just how the entire world is, that the whole country is racist and evil and irredeemable. The police are racist. The whole spiel. The very thought of that not being true is incomprehensible to them. So any evidence contrary to that fact gets completely denied. It happens at a subconscious level, I believe. I think they just completely, their brain has learned to do it without them even knowing. To just completely deny realities and obvious truths and objective truths. The president didn't call the virus a hoax. I was watching that event live. I saw it. I know my ears told me. I know my eyes told me. I know President Trump's not the most articulate person. He's far from the most articulate person. But he was saying that the Democrats' claims that his response is terrible is their new hoax. Just like them claiming he was a Russian spy was their previous hoax. It wasn't hard to figure out. The context was there. Even without the context, it was pretty easy to figure out. But they can't. They won't allow it to happen. So I get it on a daily basis from these people, from who knows where they are. They're just crazy lefties. They're crazy left-wing nuts that can't challenge their worldview. They can't challenge their beliefs. It's in there so deep that I don't think they're ever going to come out. And this is what we get. And again, keep that in mind. We're going to get into that. It's going to play into why the debates are like the way they are now. They're just, you guys saw them. Let's continue. Former Warren campaign staffer Max Berger. What kind of name is Max Berger? My God. These people are like cartoon characters. Praying our president doesn't die of the preventable illness that he inflicted upon millions of Americans. He continued, I can't think of anything more distasteful than wishing death upon another human. Yeah. Except maybe causing preventable mass death because you don't want to damage the stock market or your re-election chances, Berger continued. All jokes aside, I hope the president injects himself with bleach. Trump did this to himself, he continued. He inflicted this same misfortune upon millions of others. He's corrupt, white supremacist, criminal, who's responsible for more American deaths than 9/11 and the wars in Vietnam, Korea, Iraq, World War I combined. No one should feel bad for him. My time and your time is worth more. Is far too valuable to actually have to say the words to debunk that. He caused mass death to not damage the stock market, even though the stock market got damaged anyway. What is your claim? Please. You never see them actually explain this nonsense because it's inexplicable. So these are the people that we're dealing with here. We can't let these people determine the next leader of the free world. We really can't. So you gotta. It's crunch time now. It's so close to the election. So please like and share this video. It would really mean a lot. Also, if you would subscribe, I'm trying to grow the channel so we can reach more people on a daily basis. And go and like and share other videos like it. Bring your apolitical neighbors, your apolitical brothers, sisters, family members in. And, just show them something like this. Like say, listen, look at these people. We can't be on it. We can't let them pick who's next. for whatever reason that they're not right in the head. Don't bring people right in right away and be like, yeah, they were spying on Trump, Obamagate, this and that. It overwhelms them and their heads explode. You try to explain Obamagate to somebody that never really was into it, they're going to look at you like you got two heads. Like, what? Bring them in slow. But explain to them, say, listen, we can't let these people take over. They've just become too crazy. And that is why the debates are the way they are. Our media is no longer an objective media. Okay, I was thinking about doing a live stream for the debates, but then I was like, you know what? It's going to be 2 hours of ridiculousness, and it's probably better just to get the highlights and the clips anyway. So I'm sure everybody's seen them by now. But yeah, the reason why it was like that was because there's no objective, there's no core to start from, okay? The whole country does not agree on basic, simple truths anymore. The sky is blue. This is cold. This is hot. Don't touch. Things like that don't register with people anymore. Somebody like this would put his hand on a burning stove and watch his skin melt if Donald Trump said that was hot. He would say, no, it's not, and watch his hand burn away. He would say, no, it's not. You're a liar, President Trump. Okay? So debates, you need to have a basic understanding that this is true, this is false, for them to work. This way we can all look at it and say, no, this guy said, Antifa is just an idea, when they're clearly not. Biden said Antifa is not a real organization, they're just an idea. When we've watched them burn cities down with Black Lives Matter for months, with our own eyes. But somebody like this will say, no, they are really just an idea. Look, the FBI director said they're an idea. So now we're back to taking the word of FBI directors. Look where that got us in the first place. I don't know what's wrong with this. Everybody that becomes that director of the FBI, because it turns out to be a total shitbag for whatever reason. I don't know why. So yeah, and I'm going to agree with most people too. Chris Wallace started off the debate, was trying to be in the middle, but then he was just so appalled that Trump would interrupt that he became a second member of the debate, a third member of the debate rather. Well, a second, because Biden wasn't really there. He was only half there maybe. And he started cutting Trump off, but not Biden. You let Biden interrupt, but wouldn't let Trump interrupt. And when Trump had Biden caught in a tough position, he would go, no, we're going to change topics now. Biden won't answer a court packing question. Still now, to this day, he won't answer. They asked him a bunch more times. A couple more people asked him a few more times. He won't answer it. Wallace lets him off the hook. That's like the most inconsequential thing of the whole election. So, yeah, but here's my thing. And I get it. The debate was ridiculous. We want to see substance. We want to see normalcy. I get it. I do too. I want to see somebody in the normal way articulate, this is my policy for bringing the economy back. We're going to do A, B, and C. And then Joe Biden go, no. We're going to do, we're going to still just take money from the millionaires and give them to everybody else because this guy, Cerny Banders or whatever his name was, said it would be a good idea. We can't have that anymore because there's no media and no objective middle ground. So Trump can't let him get away with that because if it's all about just getting it out there. So now Biden says, oh, Antifa is just the idea. People hear that and be like, oh, yeah, that's true. You know what? No, Trump's like, no, I'm not going to let him. I'm not going to let you get away with that. So he goes after him on the spot. to try and stop it because he knows the media is not going to do it. And then it backfires on him because, Biden's still got to get the words out of his mouth to sound stupid. He's still got to get the nonsense out of his mouth. If he doesn't get it out, then he doesn't look stupid. So Trump kind of went too aggressive there, and it kind of hurt him. But I think the aggressiveness is necessary, and you have to stand down. But Trump needs to be more precise and more prepared with that stuff. He was a blunt instrument that night when it needs to be more surgical. He needs to be a scalpel instead of a sledgehammer with that kind of stuff. He's got to let Biden bury himself, and then come in and put the nail in his coffin. So that led to a bunch of different things, and the most latched onto thing was the Chris Wallace asking Trump if he would denounce white supremacy. Still, even though, like I said, we're seeing Black Lives Matter and Antifa burn our cities down, not white supremacists. So he goes, Trump, would you denounce white supremacy? And Trump goes, sure. He goes, tonight, right now. He goes, yeah, sure. And then Biden starts chirping in too, at the same time as Wallace, which was an unbelievable fucking thing to see. Now Biden's going, do it then, do it. They're both going, do it. And Trump's going, sure. Okay, name someone. Give me someone. Name someone. He goes. And Biden goes, Proud Boys. Even though Proud Boys aren't white supremacists. Their leader is Black Cuban. They've got a bunch of Jewish members there. They're a militia group, not the Boy Scouts, and not somebody that you want handed out your pamphlets and your campaign flyers for you, for sure. But they're not white supremacists. That's made up. But either way, Trump goes, stand back and stand by, Proud Boys. So two things came from that. First off, the media says, he said stand by. That means he's telling them to wait for my command to strike and to attack. Oh my God, these people. And then the second thing was that he just didn't denounce white supremacy. But he has 1,000 times in his presidency because they've been asking him to do it since day one because their claim is that he is a white supremacist, and he's not. And that led to exchanges like this.
Kelly, if I could start off, I'd like to ask you for a definitive and declarative statement without ambiguity or deflection. As the person who speaks for the president, does the president denounce white supremacism and groups that espouse it in all their forms?
This has been answered yesterday by the president himself, the day before by the president himself on the debate stage. The president was asked this. He said, sure, 3 times. Yesterday, he was point blank asked, do you denounce white supremacy? And he said, I've always denounced any form of that. I can go back and read for you in August 2019, in one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy. In August of 2017, racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups. I have an entire list of these quotes that I can go through with you. He has condemned white supremacy more than any president in modern history.
Just to clear it up this morning, can you, naming it, make a declarative statement that that the president denounces it?
I just did. The president has denounced this repeatedly. The president was asked this. You're contriving a storyline and a narrative.
I'm just asking you to put this to rest.
I just did. I read you all of the quotes, and if you need to see them in writing, I will put them in an email. Hold on.
So, Kaylee, can you right now denounce white supremacy and the groups that espouse it?
The president has denounced white supremacy, the KKK, and hate groups in all forms. He signed a resolution to that effect. The president just last week, perhaps you all weren't covering it, but just last week expressed his desire to see the KKK prosecuted as domestic terrorists. This president had advocated for the death penalty for a white supremacist, the first federal execution in 17 years. His record on this is unmistakable, and it's shameful that the media refuses to cover it. Yes.
This is a clown show. It is an absolute clown show. It is an absolute clown show. Listen, if somehow this ever gets to John Roberts, and please share it so it does. John Roberts What happened to you? Truthfully, what happened to you? Were you always this? Were you always this imbalanced? That woman just read off to you a bunch of confirmed statements that the president made over the course of the last few years, all giving you the answer that you're asking for. And now you want it again? Or you're saying, yeah, but those are statements, but can you give me a statement that says that? What? This is what I'm talking about, guys. And then everybody deservedly smacked him around on Twitter, and he goes, I don't care. You can make fun of me all you want on Twitter. That needed to be said. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. What is this guy? What does this guy have to come out and like the Pledge of Allegiance say, I denounce white supremacy every single day, like a morning prayer? Do you people, what do you think he just wakes up one day and goes, you know what, today I think I'm going to support white supremacy, not be against it? It's hard. John Roberts, you need to increase your dose, man. You need to increase your dose of antipsychotics. You deserved every bit that you got on Twitter and some. There's something wrong with you, bro. Something wrong with you, and you need help. You're mentally deranged. You need help. Okay? But this is why we can't have nice things anymore. God bless this girl, Kayleigh McEnany. She's good, man. It's tough to keep your cool in that kind of situation. And, this is what the media does now. And this is why we can't have nice things. We can't have nice debates. We have disgusting fact checks like this from the AP, who's supposed to be an unbiased source. Look, they got here. You got fact checks. Trump said, just one example, real quick. There's a whole list of just ridiculous ones. Trump said he's got the military. He's going to dispense his vaccine. That's not true. The CDC said they don't need the military because there's more than enough commercial personnel to do it. Though, if the military, it does run short, the military will be there ready to help. Basically, that's what it's saying. They may use the military for some remote locations. And that was labeled false. That actually makes Trump look better. That makes him look better. He said he's got the military ready to go for the. That makes him look better, not worse, you idiots. And it's a whole page of that. It's a whole pages. Oh, he said he's going to reduce drug prices by 80-90%, but that's not reality. It hasn't actually happened yet. He signed the executive order to lower drug prices, you idiots. You idiots. And then when you get to Trump saying Biden said something false, they list an entire thing, said, well, this is out of context. And they put an entire essay trying to put it into context for people. It's so biased. It's so disgusting. It's so bad. So, yeah, that's why the debates are going to be like that from now on. And they're not going to be helpful. They're not. It's still good to see, to make sure that, Biden can actually get through them all. He got through the last one, but he didn't give anything of substance. He just didn't fall over and fall asleep. So we'll see. Guys, thank you so much for sticking around. Come back. We got another segment coming tomorrow. And it's going to be a good one. Thank you very much. Have a good night.